Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 10th of July. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Sorry, what did you say your name was again?
I am Gary Peer.
Viewers,
back in town.
Viewers, just for the record, the man sitting on my left or to your right is Gary Peer. And for those of you that are wondering what he's doing on the show, I'm wondering as well.
Well, Phil, you know, the reality is the next flight hasn't taken off yet. It's going to take me to the next break. But thank you to all the co-anchors. Thank you to, we had Darren, I think we had Sally, and we had Leon.
Yep.
Did a fantastic job. So
in fact, there has been overwhelming viewer feedback that they were much preferred as my anchor.
Yeah, much preferred to you. And soon I'll be on the show with him together when you have a holiday. Is that going to happen soon?
Do you know what? I'll take a break, but I'll take a sensible break.
Fair
I'll
enough.
take a sensible break of just under 2 weeks.
That is sensible.
A 4 week, just so you know, 4 weeks is a ridiculous amount of time to take mid-year.
It wasn't all beer and Skittles, Phil. There was a bit of rain, you know, when we were in Taormina in Sicily, so you've got to feel sorry for me because of that. I know that you gave me
Do you know what? I looked at the weather forecast and every time I saw rain, I said,
thanks for that, thanks for that. Look, it's the longest mid-year break I think I've ever had in my working life, I've got to say that.
Yep, and you should have one break like that in your lifetime, and you've now had it.
I think you're probably right.
Anyway, viewers, it is good. It is actually good to have you back. You do bring a certain energy to the business that is each year diminishing, but still, you know, we do appreciate having you around occasionally.
Someone's got to hold the flag of positivity and energy, Philip, because you know I think you're getting a bit washed up and need that break, quite frankly.
Do you know what? I'm going to have a break, and I'm looking forward to it. Now let's get off the whole holiday subject.
I've got to say that look, Melbourne. I don't know. I left Melbourne in June.
Yes,
and
well, we know you left in June and didn't come back till July.
Well, that's it's true. And when I left, you know, Bert Newton was the loved son of television. Barry Hall was an idol, and basketball was a clean sport. What's going on here? What happened? I went.
Well, that's what happens when you take a long time off.
It takes 3 or 4 weeks off.
What do you think the world stands still? I mean, if you take a huge length of time off, of course all of these things are going to deteriorate.
Well, I don't know what's going on. I come back and people go, "What about Bert?" I go, "I love Bert." Moon face. Oh no, not anymore. Bert's, you know, it's like a dirty word. And because all of this,
Bert Newton did attend his last Logies.
He did. I mean, he was a legend of
Barry Hall and that entire crew from the radio station. Really,
political. You know, it's funny. You know, political correctness.
Do not go there, right? Because 50% of the population think what Barry Hall and that radio crew had to say was wrong.
I'm talking about Bert Newton. First, let's talk about Bert Newton because you know he made this sort of comment about Graham Kennedy and all that, and they were all the idols of television. But did anybody do anything right in those days? Because everybody seems like they're up to no good, Philip, in the old days of television because they've all been exposed for being very inappropriate.
Well, they were inappropriate, and but then, those were the good old days.
Think about the stuff that we watched, like stuff like Love Thy Neighbour. Do you remember that show? Love Thy Neighbour. No, you didn't have that in Kilda. I mean, Love Thy Neighbour was about a Englishman living next door to an African Englishman, right? Yeah. And they just were at each other the whole time. It was just full of racist quips, and everybody laughed, and it was so inappropriate now to look back on it. Yeah. But you know, it was always the buffoon racists that looked bad, like Archie Bunker and whatever. But today,
I think clearly,
you can't even have humour like that.
You're clearly showing your age, and there's a great percentage of the GPTV viewing population who've got no idea what you're talking about.
I think a lot of people
and to come back from a holiday with all of this old-fashioned ridiculousness is clearly.
Well, let's move into people. Barry Hall.
Yeah.
What a stupid thing did he say? It was just ridiculous. What was he saying?
Of course, it was ridiculous, and I've got to tell you, he's unfortunate because he took the rap for the whole stupidity.
Yeah, he did.
Quite frankly, the question it remains is why didn't the others fall on their swords as well?
Well, I think they sort of sniggered, and then they thought maybe I should have sniggered, and then it wasn't really a snigger. And then,
do you know what?
There is. Hang on, let's just talk about that. What's going on with the basketball?
The basketball is now a contact sport.
The basketball is sort of this new basketball wrestling combination where they bang each other with chairs, and what's going on with the basketball?
I've got to tell you that whole scene was just absolutely. If you haven't watched it, you've kind of got to watch it on YouTube because it's worth watching just to see what's going on in the world. And that's why I think GPTV has really become just a show that people turn to in difficult times because they just know that our commentary is going to be soft.
A haven. It's a haven.
A safe haven.
A safe haven, exactly right.
Let's get into property, Gary, because this is a property show.
Oh, it is, you're right.
Let's talk about the weekend.
There's not a lot going on with property. Come on, it's July. It's quiet.
Clearly, with this level of guff that's going on, clearly
fill the show with something else.
Clearly, this is a filler show. But viewers, the June and July, 2 of the quietest months in Melbourne, which is a great time to be selling because yet again, Gary Peer and Associates came through with an 80% clearance rate.
We did.
4 from 5, which is a very low volume for Gary Peer and Associates. Still. But having said that, 5 auctions for any other agency would be a busy weekend. The industry clocked in at I think 59% or 60%. And
put the towers up. I'd like to see them on my return, Philip. 80 versus 60. We've done well again.
And I'd like to just
you love to boast.
I'd like to just have a shout out.
He loves a boast.
Just like to have a shout out to Stephen, who is a regular watcher of the show, who sent an email to the office because we did something that he asked us to do, and then followed it up.
We did something that someone wanted us to do.
He followed it up with an email saying impressed by the efficiency.
We were efficient.
I can't quite work out whether he was having a little subtle crack at
our
because he talked about how we talk about processes all the time and the efficiency of our processes. And his email was really talking about how he saw in first hand how efficient our processes were.
Okay, well that's really
anyway
uninteresting. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do I wait now? If I'm a seller or a buyer, do I wait? Now, I want to ask this question because it's interesting. I've got a client at the moment, Philip.
You've got a client. Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah,
that's not going to put a dint in your Amex bill. You're a client.
Does that give me another holiday? I've got a client, and this client wants to move, from one suburb to the adjoining suburb. I won't talk about which one. And he's saying to me, look, there's nothing happening in the adjoining suburb, so I'm just going to wait.
Yep.
So do you wait? If I'm a buyer, do I wait? If I'm a seller, do I wait? What's going on with the waiting?
So Gary, when has waiting ever provided a solution to one's to the issues in one's life? I would say to answer your question, you've just got to move on. You've got to keep moving forward.
This is the conundrum, Philip, because he wants to sell, he wants to move into another area, right? And he's saying, well, there's no stock in the other area, so why am I selling?
Okay, so here is the answer. In a property market that is stable, a property market that's not going up anymore, you can now afford to sell and wait for the right property to come up. As opposed to a rising market, if you sold it into a rising market and you sold today and it took you 6 months to find something, then you might have missed out on some capital growth. In a flat market, let alone a market that might be tracking down slightly, if you sell today, you're at no risk of losing your buying power. And if you sell, it creates some momentum in the market.
And what about the time of year, Philip? You're saying, well, if I sell now, I'm not going to be able to buy anything because there's no listings around.
But you'll be positioning yourself for the springtime. So for the people that are selling today, by the time they settle will be September, October, and that is when there will be more volume.
That's right. So you've got to have a bit of faith.
And even if it's a spring this year where there is less stock than the normal spring, there will still be stock available. And the person that's sold and is cashed up and is sitting there ready to go is going to have a much better chance at the auctions than the person that's going, oh, I haven't sold yet, what do I do? I'm a bit uncertain. Does that answer your question, Gary?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. And let's just say that answers the question of our viewer who watches this and is doing some work with us at the moment, Philip.
Good.
Anyway, let's move on a little bit. We did have a weekend of activity, Philip. Wasn't a lot of activity. In fact, you didn't do an auction this weekend.
I didn't. I did catch up on some Netflix viewing though, Gary.
What are you watching?
At the moment, I've just finished the series 3 of The Tunnel, Gary. What a series, viewers. If you're looking for a detective thriller, that is probably one of the best shows that I've watched.
Well, I've got to say, Philip, I also watched one a little bit this weekend. Fauda.
Yes, we've talked about Fauda on the show before,
you know what?
Gary.
If you watch Fauda, if you're wondering if there's any hope for peace in the Middle East, and you watch Fauda, you'll realise that there's absolutely none. But anyway, it's an interesting show, Philip. Very, very interesting show.
Bit of a depressing comment, that one.
Well, that's how it is. Let's talk about some of the auctions that we had, Philip. We sold a couple of places before auction this weekend. We did sell that property in St Kilda Road very well before auction.
Yes.
That was good. And Newland Street.
Do you know St Kilda Road, we are increasingly doing more and more business in St Kilda Road.
We just found ourselves there.
I reckon, well, you know, when we opened the St Kilda office, it gave us another beachhead into St Kilda Road.
But it's St Kilda, it's not St Kilda Road.
I understand that, Gary, but there is no question we're doing more and more business in St Kilda Road. In fact, just listed another property in St Kilda Road in the Kingston building, which is Kingston.
Named after your family.
Viewers, if you're looking for a great apartment, we've got one coming up in the Kingston building. Love St Kilda Road.
Anyway, unit 1413 at 610, Phil, that was sold for $385,000. And of course, our auction on Sunday in Newland Street, $1,070,000.
Shout out to the Samuel brothers there that I believe did a great job there. Yep.
The Carnegie office is running hot, Phil. We've got an amazing place here in one of the best addresses in East St Kilda, Philip. We're right in the heart of, and I note that I'm going to pull the pin on you now. I note that you did a great episode of GPTV without me. Forgot to talk about the property GPTV was shot at.
No. We did a voiceover later.
Because you forgot, didn't you? You forgot it. So if you go back to last week's GPTV and all of a sudden you hear this sort of funny, different sound, you forgot it. Let's face it, you just can't do GPTV without me. You can say whatever you like. It's not the same.
I will confess to the fact that obviously I carry the show. But
you'll confess to that. How humble.
But the reality is you do keep it on track. I mean, you are the administrator, you're like the accountant of the show, exactly right, where you do remember to talk about the things, but you rely on me to bring an energy and a zest and an enthusiasm to talk about things. So you'd like me to talk about the property that we're currently in, Gary?
Why don't we? Because Phil, we are in one of the best addresses in East St Kilda. We're here in Vadler Avenue, and Denman Avenue just here, Phil. Gary, I mean, there's no two better streets in East St Kilda.
We're on the corner of Denman and Vadler Avenue, and Vadler and Denman, without question, are two of the best streets in East St Kilda, which I'm just picking up on the point that you just made. Yes. But this is a fabulous house. Hard to find a single-storey family home, Gary, that's got everything. Beautiful bedrooms, magnificent entertaining areas whilst we're sitting here in the formal lounge. The kitchen, meals, family room are incredible. I love the way it wraps around an alfresco area that overlooks the west and the north-facing garden. This is an absolute joy to be in, Gary. We've had a first weekend of the market, good open for inspections. I'm expecting this home to sell really well, as it should.
Prestige real estate, Philip. We're going to be here on Sunday the 29th of July. If not sold prior, we could be, you never know. And at 2:30 p.m, Philip, we're looking forward to it. Hey, talking about exciting real estate, we also listed one. I know it's not here yet, in terms of there's no ad or brochure or board, but we listed an amazing place in Northcote Avenue.
We did,
Why don't we talk a bit about that?
Well, that is the most incredible site.
Is it Caulfield's most expensive site?
Well, it will be, because I think we're going to be talking circa $10 million. But Northcote Avenue, just under 4,000 square metres of land, with now a nursing home that's still got the permit for the nursing home, but that is going to create a bit of a sensation on the market, Gary, because we will have professional organisations, in fact, if not childcare organisations, if not schools looking at the site, because it's a massive site. But then, of course, it's got the development opportunity as a very much a blue chip residential site.
Yes, Philip. So 52 Northcote Avenue, a bit of a heads up, a very exciting property.
Coming to the market in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, Gary.
For sale by expression of interest, so you've got a bit of a heads up and advantage developers and others that site might be suitable for. Philip, this weekend, guess what's happening on Sunday?
Tell me, Gary.
Absolutely nothing, Philip. Got no auctions, but we've got 5 on Saturday, and we're going to be running
Viewers, if you wanted to take either Gary or both of us out for a lunch on Sunday, we will be available.
Probably Saturday from about 1:30 as well, Philip, because it's a early finish on Saturday, Phil, but we do have 5 auctions. Shall we review them?
Let's get into it.
Why not, Phil? We start off in Dandenong Road. Now, I know that Jeremy Rosens is a busy chap. He's doing 4 of the 5 auctions this weekend. Can you believe it?
Well, so he should, Gary, because he's just had a holiday with his family in Bali. Yes. So that's assuming that he gets back without the volcano blowing its stack.
We could see him in September, maybe.
But he is auctioning apartment number 1 at 506 Dandenong Road, Caulfield North. Of course, that goes to the market on Saturday at 10:30. What a great property this is. A very large 3-bed, 1-bath bath property with a double lock-up garage in tandem, Gary. All of those things are very unusual. Great building, great property, love it.
Double auction action, 11:30 Saturday, Philip. We're going to be in Glenhuntly Road at 11:30 again. Jeremy Rosens, he's going to be meeting up with Nikki Janover, and they are excited about this property, so they should be.
Gary, I love apartments that are on top of a shopping centre. This is a terrific property. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, ready to move straight into. You don't need to spend a cent. A relatively new building.
We're going to be auctioning a block of flats on Saturday, Philip. You don't do that every day, do you?
No, unfortunately we don't, Gary. Wouldn't it be nice if we did? This is apartments numbers 1 through 8 at 29 Mernda Avenue in Carnegie. This is 6 1-bedrooms, 2 2-bedrooms, Gary, and it's got an income of well in excess of $100,000 per annum. It's in original condition. It's opposite the Lloyd's Reserve, a walking distance to the tram in Hawthorne Road, so great long-term investment opportunity, and they're all on separate titles, Gary.
Can there be a better investment than a block of flats?
Well, we've proven over time that we reckon it's right up there with the very best.
Absolutely, that is a very, very good opportunity in bustling Carnegie, Phil, where the Skyrail is now
yes,
all but I think is it completed. I think
have you had a trip on the train yet? No, I haven't, but we should probably do it. We can film GPTV from a train on the Skyrail.
You can go right past the office now at eye level too, Phil. So you know we can actually make sure they're getting up to the right sort of things in the Carnegie office. We know they are, Phil. Blenheim Street in St Kilda East. Now Jeremy Rosens is back into this one. This is a great.
And we've had this discussion before, Gary, but I'm not sure we nailed the answer. Is it Blenheim or is it Blenheim Street? But call it whatever you will. But most important thing to do is call it yours.
Yes.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, undercover car parking, Gary. So that is really a fabulous property, and it's brand new and just ready to move straight into.
We bring the curtain down early on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Philip. We are going to be auctioning this fantastic property in Murray Street, Caulfield. That's a great location. Love it there.
Gary, walking distance, of course, to 2 trams, 1 in Hawthorne Road, 1 in Glenhuntly Road. Yes. All of the wonderful shops there, and you know, well, Gary, more importantly, when you move into this property and you need to hang a painting on the wall, and you haven't got hooks or a hammer, you just walk down the road to Penhalyarax, which really, by the way, viewers, a little bit of trivia. Frank Penhalyarax, was the man that smashed open weekend trading. He was the man that pioneered Sunday trading.
Yes, a lot of people love you for that. A lot of people maybe not so much.
No, I think he brought Australia well into the 21st century. So good on you, Frank. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, parquetry floorboards, renovated kitchen, lots to love there. It's a ripper.
And bit of boom, bit of bum. That's it, Phil, for the. Is that what I say? Bit of boom, bit of bum. That's it for the Sunday and Saturday.
Do you know what? I've had a few viewers, Gary, say that the show's getting a bit stale.
Well, that's only because I've been away, Phil.
Well, they may have said that, but they've said one of the shows that they really liked was when we had an interview of our bidder that bid against himself. I have this sense that I think there's shout out to the politicians. I think with a state election looming, I think
get one on the show.
I think we should get a Liberal politician and a Labor politician. Get them on the show, and we'll have a chat as to how they see the wonderful areas that they represent. I think it might be something that's interesting.
Well, there's plenty of people that would gladly come on the show and speak to our audience of 6 or 7 or however many watch, Philip. But I think it's still a good show. People like it. This, you got your loyal, faithful viewers, Philip, that are in every week.
We are constantly known for reinventing ourselves, and I think the show needs an overhaul.
We're going to have an interview. Anyway, if we're lost, Philip, which sounds like you are, I'm feeling very comfortable. It sounds like you're a bit lost, but just in case you've got any ideas, just send them off to ideas at Gary. What is it? It's on the web. It's there now. Yes, you can see it on the screen. Yep.
Quick wrap about the market as we close, though, Gary. Viewers, we think the market's now come back into balance.
Yes.
An industry clearance rate of 60%, we've always said, is the sign of a balanced market. It's neither a buyer's market and it's neither a seller's market. It's a market where there is the right amount of tension between 2 parties.
Well, interesting, Philip, because when I was away, and even though you're belittling that my trip as being worthless and useless for the business, it's actually very valuable.
By the way, I haven't seen a parcel on my desk.
Hey?
I haven't seen a parcel on my desk.
No, I haven't seen one there either.
Do you know what? For somebody that takes 4 weeks on holiday, is there nothing that you've brought back for me?
I actually did bring you something back, believe it or not.
I bet it's the sleep mask. The sleep mask.
It's not
and the toiletries pack from the pointy end of the plane where you travel.
You got the earpieces as well, Phil. You got the earpieces and you got some,
you knocked off the
no, not the big one, just the little one, so you can go to sleep, Phil. And you've got some of the fresh breath stuff as well. No, but Phil, just to get a bit of an overview of what's going on, there was an agent there, Megan Jaffe, who's an agent from Auckland.
Megan Jaffe, she is very successful.
Very successful. And she's telling me that the Auckland market did go through a bit of a correction, but it's back on track again. And also there's a couple of agents from Sydney there that we spoke to on the conference who also said that Sydney has come back, but seems to have stabilised and now moving forward again. So interesting to see what's going on around the grounds, Phil, if you will.
I love the way that you've kind of just slotted that in at the last moment,
so that the
accountant can go
tick. Got that exactly right. So thanks for subsidising the trip there through the business, Phil. That's a big wrap on GPTV. It is cool, but the market still is warm, Philip.
It's in balance, Gary. I genuinely believe it's in balance now.
So too. And there's some good opportunities. There's not a big volume, but there are some good opportunities. And there's no guarantee there'll be a big volume in spring. So if you see something you like, don't hold back. Jump up and buy it. And if you're thinking of selling, well, we're talking about a very exciting time of year now. We're getting into the listing for those August, September months, Philip, which are very, very strong traditionally. So give us a call. You know where to find us. And in the meantime, we'll keep you involved and informed on GPTV. And we'll see you next week. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.